What a thrill to be here today. Yes. The Peter Blum Y in Boca Raton. My purpose-driven life has come full circle.
So what brings you here? What brings you to South Florida?
I am here to help raise consciousness, awareness, and resources for the Y. I am a Y member, and the Y has saved my life. It has given me the life that I have. And so health is everything. It also is a privilege. And privilege connotes duty, obligation, and responsibility. And so while the Y has saved my life and given me my life, now that everything is just going fantastic, it's my job to get out and make sure that other people have the same opportunities and the same chance that has been given to me. And so in support of our fantastic sponsors here at the Peter Blum Y, Office Depot, Rotary, ADT, I am here to try to get the job done.
What would you say is your favorite part about being able to be a keynote speaker at such a big event like this?
This is the favorite part of my life. And to be able to interact with people, to be able to interact with the common purpose of what we're trying to do, to create opportunities. My life as a child, when I first found sports, was illuminated by hope, opportunity, and purpose. And when I walked in the doors here today at the Peter Blum Y, to see all the children, to see all the great facilities, and to understand fully well that this is not something that you take for granted. And so the constant effort, the battle to get to tomorrow, this is the most affirmative aspect of my life. Because when you go out there through the world, as I travel constantly, that it's important to try to find goodness. Evil and bad will find you. Our challenge is to find goodness. And I know that when I get to the Y, I have made it to the promised land. I have made it to the top of the mountain. And to see the joy and the happiness, there is no greater reward, there is no greater level of satisfaction. And so the thrill, the privilege, the opportunity, as I ride the crest of the wave of just being named one of the 75 greatest players in the history of the NBA, and to be able to celebrate with all my friends and all my teammates and all my opponents in the business world that basketball has become, and then to be able to take that moment of joy and happiness and hope and optimism and try to spread it around.
Where does that drive really come from? I mean, you've had a lot of different hurdles, a lot of kind of naysayers in life, and you just kept overcoming one thing to the next.
Basketball was the easiest part of my life. And how appropriate that basketball was invented and started at the Y 130 years ago, plus a couple of months, December 21st, 1891. And so the chance to be a part of something special, which has been my whole life. But growing up with nothing, growing up in the Y, growing up in the public playgrounds of San Diego, and when I say nothing, we had nothing in terms of material possessions, but we had everything in terms of life. And we had family, and we had incredible schools, and we had a place to play outdoors. Now all the facilities are indoors, and so it's fantastic. But with basketball being the easiest part of my life and academics second, my challenges have been health and the inability of me to achieve health, to maintain health, and to sustain my efforts to try to be better, do better, and do more. And so as I have battled all those health challenges, and then my greatest challenge of all, which is my speaking impediment. I'm a lifelong stutterer. Learning how to speak is my greatest accomplishment and your worst nightmare. And so as I'm here today to celebrate the joys. And it's a spectacular facility here. More important, the community that I've been able to meet and interact with, and to share some of their dreams and aspirations and goals. There's nothing more fulfilling.
Bill, you're kind of plugged into both the college and the pro
Correct.
game now.
Yeah.
And, start with college. First one and done, now NIL. You know, do you ever have any thoughts like, gee, I wish I were playing in today's game?
I loved my college experience, and I had the greatest time. I wish I had done more. I wish I'd been able to achieve and accomplish more, but I tried my best, and it didn't work out at the end. We had a good start, but we were unable to keep it going throughout. And I'm very happy with the way that things have progressed. I believe in evolution. I believe in science. I believe in progress. I believe in using knowledge and technology and the education that we have to make things better. And I think they are better. Certainly the equipment is better, training is better, nutrition is better, medical care, everything is better today at all levels. And so we're very happy for all the people who are still able to play basketball. And then the business of basketball is just over the top. It's never been better. And to be able to see the 75th anniversary of the NBA, be a part of that celebration, to be a part of a monumentally successful college season this year, and the ability of everyone to work together to overcome the challenges of COVID and all the different things that we face on a constant basis. And I'm happy for all the guys who are able to prosper financially on the collegiate level. The guys at the NBA and professional levels, they're doing fine financially. And now that some of the guys can use the game of basketball, the business of basketball, to make better lives for themselves. And to be a part of the springboard into the game of life, which is really what the Y is all about. And that's the way that I always wanted to be great from the very beginning. Wanted to be great, but I quickly realized that I couldn't be great by myself, and I needed a coach, I needed teammates, and I needed a platform. And so to see the children playing out here today, to walk through the remarkable facility and all the opportunities that are presented as the platform here, to go from here to a better life, a better community. And then to see at the collegiate level, the guys coming along and utilizing NIL, utilizing all the different opportunities in their life, and so many different paths forwards now. Whether it's the G League Ignite, whether it's overtime for the high school players who don't see college as their path forward. Everyone has a different path. And so the challenge that we have as adults is to continue to adapt, accept, embrace those differences, and to see the children and understand that it's their lives and it's what is best for them. It's not about us. We're just here to help them along, and that's why I'm here today.
You talk a little bit about the 75th year team. You know, that seems to be very meaningful to you. And what kind of an experience was that?
There is no greater honor than being named to the NBA's all-time team. And I've been on it twice now, NBA 50, NBA 75, and it just keeps getting better. And the way that everybody has been able to stay together, and what Adam Silver is doing today, Mark Tatum, in the building on the legacy of David Stern. David Stern, who was the most important man in the history of basketball, never shot a basket. But David Stern, he took a game and made it into a business. And so now you have this remarkable $10 billion a year NBA business, which includes so many different things. WNBA, Basketball Africa, which is just going to be incredible for so many people, game-changing in our world of sports and economics and culture and societal impact. And then you've got junior NBA, you've got the esports going. It's all covered out there. And so to be a part of something so special, that's always been my dream, was to be part of something special and to be on that team. And it's as great an accomplishment as there is, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world. It's like at the Y. This is where dreams become reality. This is where we come to grow, and this is where the deal goes down.
Can you talk about the NBA a little bit?
Super happy for the Miami Heat.
I was going to ask about the Heat because it seems like in the discussion about the Eastern Conference, it's the Sixers, it's the Nets, it's the Bucks, even the Bulls get thrown in there, and yet the Heat has the best
on top.
record. Yeah,
Heat are on top.
Do you feel like they're overlooked?
The beautiful thing about basketball is that it's all decided on the court.
Right.
And you put the ball in the air and you find out quickly who can play and who's in shape and who's committed and who's willing to live a life of sacrifice, honor, and discipline to get to that championship level. And the way that the Milwaukee Bucks won that championship last year, seemingly out on the edge, on the abyss time and time again, and they just kept coming. And it was so fantastic to see Giannis, who was a truly remarkable player. And then the coach, who was, Coach Bud, who was on the ropes, and they were going to push him out the door and throw him overboard. Now he's basically the coach of the year. And then Drew Holiday, who is just a perfect example of the human spirit. And all the other guys that they have. And then with the star players at Brooklyn, when they're able to play, star players at Philadelphia, when they're able to play. And then Chicago has been a very good story, but Miami, from the time they made that big push during the bubble season to make it all the way to the NBA Finals, and to see what Pat Riley has been able to do. There's never been greatness, there's never been success without leadership. And I first met Pat Riley in 1967. I was 14 years old, and Pat came to San Diego as a member of the expansion San Diego Rockets on the first team. And I had a key to the high school gym, which was the best gym in town. And so I immediately fell in with the likes of Pat Riley and Jim Barnett and Don Cochis and John Block, soon to be joined by Elvin Hayes, Rudy Tomjanovich, Calvin Murphy, and Stu Lance. All of these guys, legends, and still involved in the game today. And then the basketball leaders, coaches, administrators of that franchise when I'm 14 years old were Pete Newell, Jack McMahon, Alex Hannum, and Tex Winter, all of them in the Hall of Fame. And that was my life. And my life has always been defined by not my search alone, because I've always been a curious guy. My parents, greatest parents ever, zero interest in sports, but they encouraged the curiosity. They encouraged the experimentation and the exploration. And then the endless kindness and welcoming embrace and extended hand to promulgate opportunity in my life. And that started from the very, very beginning. from the great coaches that I had. Every coach that I had as a child was a disciple of John Wooden and Chick Hearn, which was the celebration of life through basketball. And now to see that happening right here in South Florida. And Pat Riley, he's created that culture. And Eric Spoelstra to be named one of the top 15 coaches of all time. And then you've got the players. You got Bam, and you got Duncan, and you got Tyler, and you got Jimmy, and you got just a whole bunch of guys who are fit, who are committed to the team, they play super hard, and they play to win the game. And as a fan, as an alum, as a former member of the Plains part, as a current member of the alumni, what could be better? What more could you ask for? And so we're super happy for what is going on here in South Florida, setting an example of excellence, an example of class, an example of consistency, persistence, all the different things that go into greatness. And now the players, they have their chance to make their statement, their chance to write the history. And watched the game the other night where Bam Adebayo, he looked like he invented the sport. And it was just fantastic, and he was just running and shooting and, and blocking and rebounding, and it was just a thing of beauty to watch and witness. And I was privileged to be able to experience his greatness. And we just hope it continues.
Do you think the league, kind of the transitional period from when you were playing, the physicality has just kind of softened a little too much, where you're now seeing big men almost have to be shooting threes now too?
It's a game of skill, timing, and position. And one of the things that all these children who come through these doors every single day trying to build their lives and create their dreams, they have to realize that it's not about being big and strong. And yes, that helps. I mean, come on. You have Kareem, you have Wilt, you have Shaq, but you also have Steve Nash. And you also have these endlessly remarkable players who just come through and have this level of skill, the comprehension of time and position that allows them to be great. Today's game is better than ever. The players are better than ever. Everything is better than ever. And with that being said, have we seen someone as great as Kareem? We'll see. But you look at the guys at the top right now, in no particular order: LeBron, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Steph Curry, as individuals, and their impact historically, their impact on the current game. But then you have, the teams, and Giannis, as great as he is, he needs all those other guys. And, as great as whoever the star is for the Miami Heat on any one particular day, they need everybody playing. And so the playoffs this year, every year, will be spectacular. The emotional commitment, the mental acuity that the champions have to display on an everyday basis, the decision making and the level of commitment that you need, an understanding that it's never easy. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. Kevin's your name, right? Scott. You're Scott, your buddy's Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott. Okay. If you ever find something that's easy, you let me know.
No problem.
Okay. And that's why these children who are coming in here at the Y and who are looking to figure out how they're going to make it, and that's why Jason, as the CEO here, his entire staff, his board, all the people, all the adults that come through here every day are the shining stars. They're the beacons of hope for these young people. And say, well, if he can make it, I can do that too. And then the kindness, the extended hand, because one of the things that you learn as you go through life and you study greatness, you live greatness, you witness greatness, is how many times some complete stranger has come up to you and helped you get through the tough times. And this is a direct reflection of who we are as a people. It's also a direct reflection of the sponsoring human being, the one guy, Peter Blum, who came here years ago and made his stand right here in Boca Raton and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to help. And building this building, putting his name on the building and inspiring so many different people. And that's the way life works. And the NBA has epitomized that. And it's the dream coming true.
For those who aren't able to be here today to hear your message in just a few minutes, for the rest of the folks who can watch what we're going to share, what would your message be to them in light of life right now and some of your main messages?
There's nothing greater than being able to help lift the burden and ease the pain of other people's lives. And to be able to work together for the common good, to live a purpose-driven life, to live a life where the happiness and joy that you feel as an adult who's maybe considering ourselves old and in the way, to realize that we're still in the game and the opportunity to be a contributing team member. You know, my favorite player ever in the game of basketball was Bill Russell. And Bill Russell taught me at a very early age that in basketball and life, you can always make a positive contribution in every moment, in every action. Action requires movement. Action requires getting started. And so when you're in that position, as we all are every day, you just come and see what it is that you can do to create joy, to create hope, to create opportunity, and to live your own purpose-driven life that will hopefully be the inspiration and the instigation of what is to come tomorrow. And understand that the effort and the battle that it takes to get to tomorrow is well worth the fight.
Bill, we got March Madness coming up, and your alma mater is now kind of back in the picture.
Oh yeah,
What,
it's fantastic.
give us your, can you give us kind of your favorite, your picks for the
This year,
NCAA?
when you look, I think it was you who mentioned the big guys, or it might have been you, Kevin.
Scott.
Scott. Everybody under 6'10" looks exactly But there's been a tremendous showing by the larger players this year. Giannis is this incredible performer and spectacular human being, winning the championship last year. And then at the collegiate championship last year with Baylor, the epitome of what it means to be a team, and everybody doing their role, and their front line who sacrificed every bit of individual glory so that the team would win, and they did it magnificently, they did it willingly, and it all worked. Then this year, you've got Karl Anthony Towns winning the three-point shot contest, and you got Obi Toppin winning the slam dunk contest. And so in college basketball, this year, the best teams are the ones that have the front lines. There's a lot of guards. There's always a lot of guards who look good. But there's a handful of teams that have excellent front lines. And you're going to have to beat those teams. And I would put those teams today in this order of Kentucky, and Gonzaga, and Arizona, and Auburn. You're always going to have to beat Duke. No matter who they have, they're that good. We'll have to see what happens after Coach K leaves. We thank him for his incredible, remarkable spectacular, empty the thesaurus contributions to life, basketball, everything. But when you have Sheboy and Brooks from Kentucky, and you have Holmgren and Timmy at Gonzaga, and you've got three guys, Coloco, Tubelis, and Ballo at Arizona, and you've got Kessler and Smith at Auburn. You know, you're going to have to beat those guys if you're going to win the championship in college basketball this year. And then, you know, what Scott Drew does at Baylor, they win the championship, and they lose the heart and soul, the keys to their team, all their productivity. They lose players this year to injury, and yet they're still right there. You know, they have, Baylor, Scott Drew, they have what the Miami Heat has. They have, you know, they have the culture, they have the foundation, they have the team, they have the leadership, and they have the common dream, the common goal of what it is that we're doing. And that's what the Y is about. You know, you look around, all these, the people who are here today, they're not in this for themselves. They're in this for the community, for the spirit of life and a world as it can, could, and should be.
Time for one more question.
How about for the NBA? What are your predictions, like say for the finals?
We're in early March right now, and the NBA finals don't start for, let's see, April, May, June, for 3.5 months before the finals even start. Health is everything. If you can predict health, in a given world of perfect health, you know, you're going to have to beat the stars. You know, generally in basketball, your best players have to be able to beat their best players. Some teams have more best players than others, and so I really can't say. You know, the Phoenix right now is playing fantastic. Phoenix halfway through the NBA final, or a third of the way through the NBA finals last year, was doing fantastic, and then 2 key injuries, and everything changed, and Milwaukee just took perfect advantage of that. And what will happen with the Warriors? How will Steph be able to keep it going? You know, will Clay be able to come and go full speed every single day, better and better and better? And you know, we all hope for that. And then will the Lakers be able to get it together? You know, Lakers have LeBron James. You know, LeBron James is as amazing a player as has ever played. And one of the things that I love about LeBron James is that he epitomizes all the things that are about this building, this facility, this community. Okay, let's get the job done, and let's live a life that's reflective of our values. And so when I see the sign, the Y for a better us, and then in my life, I'm always faced with a question why? And you know, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why aren't things better? And my answer usually to that question of why is why not? So I just hope, as a fan, that everybody stays healthy, the games are decided by the players on the court, and the ball is in the air at the buzzer to decide the outcome.
Thank you for the time.
Okay, we good?